Coming to you live, no stutter. Man, doctor said we all want to kill each other, but that's the word told me. It was torn. Yeah, 35 years ago, I was born. No morning, new life. See, the funeral was when I died, that's when I came to. So the blessed is the best man when I became a man. Coming to you Sunday at 0900 hours, 11 minutes. September 1st, 2018. Wow. It made me think about 9/11. Rest those souls that was lost that day, the people that took their lives to save a life, rest their souls and their family members, everybody that was affected around the world, locally, business wise, everybody that went through the sorrow. Where I was at, I was checking in my duty station when I joined the Marine Corps. My purpose of joining the Marine Corps, I did 5 years. I served the country, and it's weird when people say thank you or doing a duty that I thought at the time you were supposed to do as a duty because you were born in that country, just like when we do the Olympics. Like that's a duty for athletes to join because it's an honor. It is an honor because you can live by an honor and that nobody else live by. I don't have to live by nobody else honor or code because I have a discussion with a guy I just started hanging out with about he was trying to get me to show him proof of what the creator gave me. And I was like, there is no true proof. But even what he kept saying I was being negative. He kept calling me negative about everything. Because even he kept trying to do things. And I was like, well, if you working in all truth, which I work in, I'm not just going to just say, and that's the correct answer. Like, he brought up a red cup. I said, do everybody see red? But I said, like, how I know that's red? Because you told me it's red. And that's my implications of telling him. And I was expressing to him with not arguing, not trying to be just to come against him. Because I was really saying a lot of people are colorblind. They said, blow up the stats. And I brought up the stats. And he kept saying, I kept trying to justify what I was saying based on, but he kept telling me to do things, and I kept not wanting to do them because you know why I didn't want to do them? Because all it was going to do, it was going to align truth with facts. That's all it was going to do. And I was like, I didn't want to do that to him because we even talk about how people don't read, how people don't take the time out to do certain things. And I'm like, I agree with you, but I will not agree with somebody just to tell me something. And he kept saying, I kept trying to make it. No, I was asking him a question. So if people ain't know this, for men, every 12th man is colorblind. Well, and for every woman, it's every 200 woman is colorblind. And that was the survey. That was the United States of America statistics. No, the statistics was lower because it was like because America is only so much of the population in the world. But then he was like, around the world, they say 8% of people. And he like, because he kept saying only less than 1%. I was like, how many people on this earth? I was like 7.5. So every 200 women, there's a colorblind woman. So who's saying they was going to see red? But he kept making, then I learned, but I've been learned this, that people argument is only based off of self. And the word ish is what the word is. So the self is. So he kept trying to make me prove what self is. So to be selfish, I would have to understand him. So what I kept doing is I kept on aligning to what he was saying. He said, I'm switching my words. I said, no, because you kept telling me you want proof. Only way I can prove it to you is through what you know. I cannot prove it through what I know. And he wouldn't understand that. And I was like, well, he's like, we don't ever talk about it. I was like, cool, I didn't talk about this. I usually don't bring up the conversation. I just say, okay. When somebody say Jesus, I say, okay. I know I might have but it's like, I told him I'm going to do that because that's not my
What I align to, I align to the creator. I won't call him God. I know why. You call him God, you can call him whatever. You had an awakening, that's cool. But what I don't like when you, this is just in general, since I started coming into a spirituality of a connection with the source, the creator, the almighty, I kept getting people when you talk, just like explaining why men and women don't like each other. I can't explain that to nobody. But all I can give you is what's happened before us. So what happened before us, I can give you that. But you telling me to explain it in another way, I don't know how to explain it another way. Because I don't know how to draw up information from information I have no information about. So, and then when I do get to pull up the information, you still telling me I'm trying to use it my way. So how do we connect? And I learned through the process of like revelation, it's called being selfish. To get to where you at in this day, you didn't hurt people, you didn't punch people, you didn't cheat. You had to be kind of like self. You have to go to yourself and tell yourself, is this really what I want to do? Is this really what I want? If I want, I have to go out and get it. I don't care how much you pray for anything, it happens to you. It can happen to you in a better way that you work for it, or in a way where it just came to you. Some people, even the word love, he was like, what is love? He said, did I train? I was like, no, who told you about that word? I didn't create the word. I didn't say the word love. But, but we automatically, when it comes times to educate someone, it's only got to be on their lines. So all I did is say, well, we won't talk about it. That was our solving, but it never solves anything by not talking about it. That's why I created my YouTube to talk about it. So selfish, is that really wrong? When you born in life, you're really not born by yourself, but we say we are because we come out the womb. Sometimes unless you're a twin or a triplet, a sextuplet, you're born with somebody with you. But it took your mother and father to create you. You was in the womb, and your mother gave you some of her life to give you life, including what your father had put in. So, or the man that was the fertilizer of the egg, but his DNA, his genetic code, his nucleus of who he is, through the creator in you. So, as you get older, you go through life, and you start understanding this is what you want to do. Unless you have like a person that you can truly call, which you really don't, a partner, you're really going through this on your own. Nobody's helping you. And the is part, it's like you're going through it with yourself. Who's helping you do it? People out there are connecting to you, helping you, showing you that they love you, showing you that they care about you, that can help you. Or you might get encouragement off the internet, in the computer, or other people you never met. But it's still in actuality, you're still only looking at yourself. Because you're the only one that can get yourself up in the morning. You the only one that it took yourself to do it. But it's great that the creator gave us people around us to show us. So how was a man selfish that was never shown love? And that's the thing that we forget to ask. Because I'm learning we forget that once we get to where we at, everybody's supposed to believe the same way. Everybody's supposed to act the same way. I don't want you to act the same way. But at least think about it. All I ask is challenge yourself on how you think. If that's the only way you can think, that's the only way. If you think this way, that's the only way that everybody in the world is going to think just like you. Everybody's going to do everything just like you. You gotta really ask yourself that. And that's what I do to myself. So I say I challenge myself, and I know about life. Life happens. But is that the only way this can happen? That's the only way. That's the only way this person can learn. That's the only way this person can see. That's the only way this person can be. And that's the only way this person can do. No, that's not the answer. Because that's based on you. The ish part, which now if you actually go under if you're going to use the metaphoric language, the context we're using of the ish, that's based upon oneself. That's not, no. Oh, I just looked at the word. It's gonna come back to me. But the ish part is based upon what you do. I don't care what your mother did. I don't care how much you inherited. You still have a purpose for you. It's a purpose for you. And if you don't work on that purpose and you don't work, you never reach the true self. You never learn who you are. You never get to experience anything. That's why a lot of people with money, when they lose it, and they grew up like people that grew up with money and people that didn't grow up with money. People that have money, yes, they do change. Because you got to think about what in their life they didn't have growing up. What in their life that they didn't inherit. So most likely, they be like, oh, you change. You do change. You change with them. Because what they're going to do, you both are going to be challenged. They're going to be challenged on the mental state, like, oh, I'm the only, and that's what you're going to believe. That's why I say your experience can change. That's why I say nothing is finite. There's no one answer to one way. Because if you put a stick in the road and you tell everybody to go the same way, I guarantee you people going to do different ways. Some people going to start from the beginning and find out, oh, okay, there's a part in the road where it's hard to get through. Let me choose a different option to get there. Some people gonna wait till they get to the end of the road, that part of the road, then go their way around, go their separate direction. Some people not. So if you're looking at being selfish, it is wrong, and the answer to me is no. Because if you don't take the time out for yourself to find out the correct answer, nobody can truly tell you the correct answer. Nobody can truly show you. So even as I state, love yourself, but don't be a lover of yourself. Don't matter what I do, if I never love myself, I don't care how many women love me, I'm not able to see it. And that's what I tell people. You have love because somebody has been an example. Because when people's like, I don't like to use a book. You said it was a spiritual encounter. A lot of people say that was spiritual. Okay, but where did it come from? Even in the spirit had to tell you the word. I'm not here to prove nothing to you. I'm not here to be your prophet. I'm not here to be your guy you bow to. I don't even care if you even respect me. I'm here just to do what I'm supposed to do. That's all I'm here for. Anything other than that, that's on me. I'm choosing to do that. I still have a choice and you still have a will. So it's your will and choice to make a decision what you want to do. I don't care how many times somebody said, well, your grandmother did it, your grandfather, you still have a choice. You don't have to make the same decision. Especially if it's not a great decision, and you know if it's not a great decision for you. If I invest $500 today in a market that I'll have looked up and you looked it up, it may be more beneficial for me than it may be for you, even in an investment. Because somebody said it, that don't mean you have to do it. That's why I be saying there's these taught and these learnt, not learned, learnt. Like if the T is buried in us because it's nurtured, fostered, or breeded into us. This is what we have to do and say. And then most people, what I came to understand, I don't listen to people because I listen to them for the simple fact of we're both human, we're first beings. But for you to tell me that you only align to a certain religion or you believe a certain way without no true knowledge, and you telling me to make sense of what I can't make sense of, and you're not even making sense of what you're saying. Because if I need to prove love, right? This is an example. And I'm asking you what is love to you, and you telling me it's what we do unconsciously. We're given that. It's like we know. Okay, cool. I respect that because I actually trust in that. I believe that. I know that. Then you trying to tell me, but since I don't have the same belief or religion as you, to make sense of it. But then all I'm gonna do, and then it's just this is reasonable, and it's not changing my words, because I'm not trying to prove anything to you. I'm telling you what I've been through, my experiences. If you connect, you connect. If you don't, you don't. That don't make you less of a person. That don't make you less than a person I want to be around or come around. It's just that we have different points. That don't mean that we couldn't be friends. That don't mean we couldn't, like if you were a woman, we couldn't be in a relationship. But that's solely up to the other person. I don't have a problem with that. Because I'm not looking for what that person is doing. Because it's based, remember, everything you do is based upon yourself. So if you're truly being selfish, you're looking at yourself saying, that was my fault. That was my fault that fight started. That argument started. Because I know what I ought that I should be doing. I know what I should be doing. And I didn't do that. I catered to whatever that other person was doing, and I knew for me it was wrong. So in my discussion with the person, with the people I talk to, they keep trying to tell me what they want from me. I keep trying to tell them I cannot give it to you because you saying I'm being negative, so you're not even hearing what I'm saying. I heard what you said. I didn't disagree. I said from your perspective, that's how it looks. Just like so in the world, if we're colorblind, so imagine how many people that got love, that didn't have love. People was like, well, we can only go off the story. What about the people that's getting shot and killed right now and raped and molested by their fathers and uncles, men and women? That's love. What love have they experienced? But since it's not reported on the media, capital M, capital M, capital E, capital D, capital I, capital A, it's a reason I use the capital letters that we don't know about it. And we only hear the stories we want to hear. That's selfish. If you telling me the stories we only want to hear, that's only it. So you telling me that's full understanding? That's not full understanding. That's selfish. To yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, are you looking at other aspects? Are you looking at your perspectives? Majority of everybody in this world perspective is one way. There's no, as somebody trying to kill me, I guarantee you, not a lot of people be like, it's a reason he's trying to kill me. Because most people's first responses is, let me make sure they don't kill me first. Or if they get me, let me get them back. Nobody think about, let me see if I can love them. We say it, but do we mean it? Do we really mean it? And that's the thing we got to work on too. Do we really mean what we say? And just like more recently, I keep telling everybody, the 13th order or the 14th, we probably in the high 80s, 90s, or thousands of orders that this world is creating through the corruption and the propaganda, the order, the system, the institution. We in the 13th order that I know of racial charge. We're charging up the racial, and it's obvious. We got men that's doing great things, that's African descent, indigo, quote unquote black men, like LeBron James creating schools, helping communities. Then we got the men and women dogging him. We got the people charging up the race. They're paying people to charge it up. They're paying him to charge it up. He keep talking about it. He's not talking about a solution. He's not talking about, well, I thought white people was bad until I learned that they're all not. But he said majority of them, yes, they will come after you for no reason based on what happened to them as well growing up. Or nothing happened to them. That's what they was taught at home. A lot of people be saying racism can't be. Yes, it can. It can't. It's put into it's iniquity. It's not taught. I don't have to tell my child nothing about racism. My child would experience racism some way or another throughout his time on this earth. If I choose any of my children, for some odd reason, they will experience this. But somehow I'm making up racism. And here's many examples of why I'm telling people they're racially charging us. Aretha Franklin, they call her the Queen of Soul, passed away. John McCain, the senator, passed away. Two good-hearted people, which they never done nothing for me, had their wedding on the same day of their wedding. Basically, it was a marriage back to the Creator. The same day. Why would they do that? A black woman and a white man, so they can have their funeral, their weddings. AK also could be at the funeral another day, which the word fun is in there. Nobody was having fun. Yeah, we sing and we praise them, but they're dead. We give them contributions or tributes, but they're dead now. That means nothing. Only thing that means is like tell the story to the children of how this person was. The only type of I want a party. I didn't live on this earth just to die. I lived on this earth to do my mission with my purpose and my position. And so
That goes on. Then we got the black women going out to about black men don't love. It's like I can name so many things that's like that's very selfish. But it's to count on what people go through. Selfish is not wrong. It's just when you use it wrong. If you use any, I can take a hemp plant and use it wrong. It become a drug. I can take a wrench for fixing things and then use it to turn around and beat somebody with it. A hammer, a sledgehammer, a crowbar. It's how you use it. It's the tools that we have. So this tool right now, I'm using it. I'm using it to encourage people, to strengthen people, to realize how strong you are based on what people done to us over what people said to me. I don't have to do this. People have, I've been hurt, I've been abused, and people's like, and even in these lives, you can see they get personal. And I can truly honest and I can finally say it to everybody. A lot of people don't experience love. And that's what we actually, now that is not a success. That's a failure to realize. In our own psyche, we think just because this young man father paid for his car at 16 or make sure he went to, that was love. That was that was an expression of love, but true love is like what time and effort did he put into his son? Now, when it's his son going off, to me, with true with love, it's not even a true love. I don't like the word true, real, because we are true and we all are real. We are beings. We are all created. We and what have the father done to this for the son besides just give him a car, besides give him all the clothes, make sure he ate food? What kind of knowledge and understanding did he spread to him? So for my son to love me, I had to show him love. And he didn't know what that word is. So as he got older, the creator through somebody else showed him this is love. Tell him this is love and show him that this is love. More than the word, give him the expression, the meaning, the show, the time, the effort, the strength, the design of love, the element. Just like the air is an element, love is an element. So for me, I love everybody. But I know people have shown me love. But I tell people the love I have not never received yet is when like I say, when a man loves a woman and a woman loves a man for a relationship. And I'll tell every woman I was with, and I told them this, you did not love me. I never received love. And with what I had, I was trying to show them my love, but it was never received. That's why I say certain people are not for me. And after a while, I was like, these women are not for me. I can't even show these women love. I can't even give not one of these women love. Why? Because they was not ready to receive me. Because they was in their own self. That's cool. Mark down that in their ish. That's why I say ish. Ish don't mean sugar, honey, iced tea shit. It mean what you're working with. What do you have in you? I have myself in me. So I have to love myself within me first before I can love myself other than out of me. So out of the part that's not me. So my skin, anything around me, if it's not me, I have to love this, like they say, despite of. I don't have to love despite of either. I have to love based on what I know is love. So if I only can show you but so much, that's all I have. What more can I show you? If I only have $3 to give you, what more can I give you? If I'm just using money, we like to refer back to money and our creator the most. So I like to use those things because that's the most common to men. It's money and our religion, our structure of belief. So if this is all I have, what else can I give you? If I literally only have $3 in my bank account, my pocket, my piggy banks, there's no money nowhere else at that time. I don't mean I can go out and work. I mean literally. I mean in a literal sense. If I had $3 right now and I gave you $3, will you say that's it? And that's all I have. That don't mean that's all I'll have for the rest of my life. At this moment in time, when you needed $3, that's all I gave you, or you needed 5 and only had 3. Would you ask me that's it when that's all I have? So same go for love. If that's all, or with all that you have, I'm not saying don't get more. I'm not saying be content. I'm not saying you can't strive, you can't go work. I'm saying in a literal sense, if a person do not have more to give, what more can they give you? And if that's all they're giving, and they're telling you, I'm not being mean about this, I don't understand. I have no knowledge of. I don't acknowledge what you acknowledge it. That's all I have. How can I give you more? Let me work this out first so I now can have $5. I need to go get $2 more. Now I can go out because I have a skill. I have a mouth. I have legs. I have arms. Everything that I have on me that made me capable of now getting $2 more so you can have $5. And we don't accept that no more. That's what I'm trying to give it in so many different ways. Just like my pace is not your pace. My way is not your way. The way the creator thought us to be is in the image of, and it's it's kind of like a not an imitation or an illusion. It's more like a structure, like a design. You're unique and we wonderful. So he made us perfect the way he wants us to be. And that's all we can work on till we understand more, till we get wiser, till we get more knowledge. You can't go past that until you get it. If you hitting a nail and it's a board, you're learning how to nail in the nail with the hammer and the nail, and you find yourself doing it wrong, what you do, you stop. You ask yourself, what can I do? It take a time. So you have to think about it. See what you're acknowledging that, man, I can nail this hammer into this wood a little bit better, but how? And it take time for that to happen. So if you're in it looking to be in a relationship, be with somebody, if you've never been through it and you keep finding people that expect you to know a lot of things, you might have to move on. You might have to leave those people alone because if they can account back their account of who they are. I remember if you got a degree in computer networking and you didn't know what a motherboard was, with the schematics or how to make one, before you took that class or you learned that skill, you did not know how to create a motherboard. I'm trying to use different examples. So how would a person know what to do when they never had it? People are like, oh, man, I've been in love. But have you been in love for 10 years? Have you been in love with a person that couldn't walk? Have you been in love with a person that couldn't see? So I used to say, man, I would love to meet a blind woman or a woman that's deaf, because certain things she would not be stuck to. That's what I'm trying to do with myself. I'm not trying to stuck myself or stick myself or align myself to sources and reasonings that I have no control over. But within me and myself, I have control over. That's what I stand for. Let me get better because I'm going to go through this now. If I didn't, I don't need to go through a lot of things. I don't need to go have sex with a woman and get her pregnant to know that it's going to be very hard without getting to know her, knowing her aspirations, her goals, her achievement. We might have a lot of rough patches in our relationship because we made a time frame. Like if I don't marry her in 4 years, she don't marry me, she don't love me, she don't do this, he don't do that, she don't do this, he don't do that. It's like we're setting ourselves up to be disappointed and to fail. There's no success because I'm not saying you can't get married the first year. But if you talking about marriage the first year, are you talking about marriage the first year? See what I'm saying? That's how I asked the guy. He said he wanted to make a point, which he never finished. And even his girlfriend was like, finish the point. I was like, everybody don't see red cups. So stop saying it's a red cup. Just say that for the formality of, we know this is a cup, right? And he could not finish. Because he only, and I think I was being negative. He wanted to draw a conclusion that everybody see red. And I'm not a conclusion person. I'm not an end all, begin all person. I don't believe in first. I would never trust in the first impression. I would never, because if you get married, that mean you've been through a lot. You've seen a person get mad, angry, a lot of things. Or you just trust in each other and you got an honesty and a loyalty about you. Two people that's rare that they will meet. But I cast over a greatness to people, commend the calm, that they're calm, COM, cast over a greatness that people that are married. Because they're not letting a lot of things and people that stay married, that's an honor, not based on finances or whatever was going to bring them down. That has nothing to do with, if they didn't defile the bed and do some crazy stuff, like a person started doing drugs, they having a hard time. They might have known themselves. They might got tricked into doing it. See, we don't know because we don't want to ask those questions. We automatically want to go into down the worldly meaning of selfish and never took the time out to know the self and what a self is. What is this to you? And a person never want to ask you that. They just want to say, "Well, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to like hear me." Like if we're having a conversation, there's a dialogue. How come we can't have a trust? And like, what have I done wrong to you? If I never done nothing wrong to you and I'm getting to know you, trust my word because this is what I'm going by. This is how I'm living my life. This is how I'm thinking compared to you what you're thinking. Versus what you're think is not a competition, but you're sharpening each other. Two people that compete can sharpen each other. And if we're not sharpening each other and we're not helping each other, now in a worldly way, we're being we're being greedy. Forget selfish. We're being glutton. We don't want to see nothing else. You want me to have your view. But that's what make us who we are in the beginning. We're not going to have the same view. And if we do, it's going to sound a different way. It's going to look a different way. One way a man get a woman is not the same way another man get a woman or the woman receives him. The one way one man, and I wanted to say this, and this is leading up to what I wrote. Relationships should not be taught nor guided. It should be a person of a self and personal way. They should form, create, and build a relationship which is allowed for choices can be made. That's my understanding of if you're going to be selfish, you need a permission and allowance from yourself, and the creator have given you that. He gave you access and activated it for you and said, you have free will. Your will is free. You do not owe me 1 cent. You don't have to do one thing on this earth, but I asked you for a commitment to yourself. But what is that to you? What is that to your selfish? I'm not trying to change the word. If you the meaning of the word selfish, if you break it down or spread it apart to understand it, it's not a bad word. It's not a negative word. We made it negative because people found themselves. Imagine if I keep following the people that tell me what they just tell me. You know what I got to do? I got to go through them every step of the way. I remember my friend used to say this, and I told him this, and he finally caught on. I was like, don't listen to people. Stop listening to me. I don't care. You listen to good counsel and wise counsel. That's great. But you still have to perform the duties, the work yourself. Self is like just is. Just do it like Nike with the Superature. And a Superature is to make sure you get rest. It calms you. It's an oil. It relaxes you. When it seeps in your skin, it makes you shine. It makes you lit. That's what lit is. Go look up the word lit. L-I-T, period. Not a word has a period and hyphens in front of it because it's explaining where the translation, which we know language came from so many different sources. That's why they say English is the worst language. It's bastard language. It has no parent. It has no covering. It's straight, not direct, because it took women and men to translate, which the translations can have different meaning. Every language has that. Like in some Spanish word, like the friend was telling me, it sounds silly. I know, I was just asking him and I knew that, but the way he said it was from a different point of view. And if I hadn't had his different point of view, I wouldn't understand his point. I need to understand his point. So if you meet in a person, and this is selfish. Now this is a negative way of selfish. And you only saying, I did it. Why can't you do it the same way? That's selfish. That's a negative way. Because how you and another person got there, you did not get there the same way. Because they might have did something a little bit more. They did something more better. That's not even a way to pronounce. I don't care about grammar in most cases. That's not even more correct. That was worstest. That was the worst. But if I'm going to be correct, grammatically correct, that was worse than what they did before. So they have no way. So you keep telling me what to do or telling them what to do. Where do they know what to go? They always come to you. But if they know who they are and then they understand that there is a lot of truth in other things, like maybe, or watching her go through him going through his pain by not getting to know that lady. Maybe I want to, when a lady I meet, at least use like a little bit. I want to really get to know her. I really want to know Is we gonna have this problem? She don't have a children. She don't have a child. She never experienced childbirth. I never experienced it. But is I want to know for sure, because if you're gonna be honest, what things bother you? Because if I joke around and you don't have a baby and she's pregnant, you got to think about, and it's funny, this sounds funny to people, they never ask these questions. I aggravate her and annoy her when she's not pregnant with words I say. Imagine how many times it's heightened. Now it's a baby in there being created, procreated. Now the baby, the child is going to go through what she's going to go through. See, we don't talk about this. Just like a woman, like my quote unquote black, what we call black African descent, indigo people, and my women, we have a different view. Women just literally have a different view on life than men. But also, every time I talk to them, I say, stop. I'm not bashing you, I'm not attacking you. I'm asking you with all truth and respect and honor to you. Why do you feel that way? Like an instance, lady named AJ Wilson said, why do NBA players get paid more? Skylar Diggins Smith now is doing it. And then, okay, if we're going to use all truth and logic, women and men should get paid the same amount of money. Now, stop. We're going to stop right there. Now, let's go to professions and career. Should a person at Burger King get paid just as much as a doctor? Now, I asked her to that, and they won't, and the women will not answer that question because that will lead up to the conversation we about to have. And I'm not trying to pick and choose what I'm doing. I gave her a clear, and I said, you choose professions of and then she said MBA. Okay, I say, we're not even gonna use the McDonald's and doctor. And the reason I asked that, nobody's paying $30 for a sandwich. On my copay, it's gonna be $30. So when the doctor get paid, and the doctor's salary is a certain amount of salary, but just like the employee, so the doctor is an employee of this institution, the Alchemy Hospital, the hospital, how, if my copay is $30, the sandwich is only $6, how can a fast food worker and the doctor get paid the same amount of money when their money is not being dished out the same amount? The dividends don't even add up. The income don't even add up. So let's do this. Now we're going to just use the extract that what we already have, the knowledge we have, the understanding. I'm not talking about capitalism and how the patriarch. I'm just talking about just general understanding. If we're going to make sense of this information we have, the WNBA just was created about 10 years ago. Women went overseas and they got a certain amount of dollar contracts. But even based on our contract, it was a dollar amount based on what? Marketing, revenue, and entertainment value. Okay. The NBA has been around almost 80 years. They have the dunk contest. They had the 3-on-3, the 1-on-1. We got the All-Star game, the All-Star weekend. You got all the events that occur. You got the 82 games in the season. You got the ticket sale. The same as the WNBA. And I wanted to ask AJ Wilson, Skylar Diggins Smith, and this one lady on there that she still won't give me an answer. None of them can. I mean, sensible, logical, practical answers. How can I pay a woman 24? So it's women that has less team. I think it's only 16, maybe. Now I think it's 20 teams now. I'm not even sure. I should have looked it up first in the WNBA. Correct me, right or wrong. And the average salary is like 900,000, and they need another job. I don't know what you're doing. I'm sorry for if I play the NBA, make 900,000 a year. I don't know why I need another job after I leave. I don't care if it's for 5 months. I'm getting $900,000 for 5 months playing. 3 months. I'm getting my salary for this year from this source of income. The WNBA as a woman. I want to hear women hear this out. This is not an attack or the beef on you, and that's why I hate that women stop doing that. That is so stupid. That is so corruptive of a mind. That's a psyche that they breed it. It shows even men that attack women. It shows the stupidity of us. That's why I don't have a religion and all that. But that's another story again, and I talked about that already. And I don't know what you're doing with 900,000 for 3-4 months. You got paid $900,000. So in lump sums, you got 900,000. So every year, if you play basketball for 10 seasons, you got 900,000. So 900,000 times 10. I don't know what you're doing with that. That's a lot of money to me. I never made Skylar Diggins and AJ Wilson. I don't make the money you make. all the money you got collected in your life, you have made more money than me now. You've been made more money than me for your first year. By your second season of the WNBA and your contract overseas, you make more money than me. So don't say that women don't get paid more than men. And I work just as hard as you in my career, my profession. But I know within my profession, I can't make sense of why the owner get paid. We don't talk about you attack a player like Harrison Barnes that is of a darker hue, skin color, and that's a man that's like you, that look like you, or have the same ancestry, ethnicity, nationality in you, just like you have. But you attacked him, but you never ask your owners why you get paid less. Because they would, you won't, because that it would make sense. That make me believe and know you part of the order, the propaganda, and the subliminal, the racially charged 13th order that you're trying to fuel. Like the president is trying, they're using him as a grand puppet. They're using LeBron, using Kerry Champion. They using the Colin Kaepernicks of the world. They're using them to charge at this racial fight, this racial demise, destruction, the destroying of that there really is a skin. They're gonna try to tell kids there's no such thing as skin color. Well, just like a lot of people are colorblind, don't tell me that cup was red and then tell everybody you're going to see red. And then tell me when you bring up statistics or you use all truth, like so some people don't see red. Is that not the all truth? But only trying to align to what you want. I'm not trying to align to what I just want to align. I want to make sense with you so we can come to an understanding and we can get some knowledge and educate each other and show one in each other, have great expression, have a better love for one each other. Go to the owners. You don't test them out. So what she did, we go to the players. You talk about guys that I guess you could only she associate herself with an NBA player, a man too. Let's get rid of the race and the color and the race of color of her. So the women associate themselves with a man. But she didn't associate the revenue, the marketability, and her entertainment value. How many women, and it's not a diss to women, how many, I know that Lisa Leslie, that's my girl, can dunk. Tina Thompson, Brittany Griner, and I respect a lot of women that play basketball. Diana Taurasi, she get paid less than, and it's funny, she get paid less money than Candace Parker. And Diana Taurasi was one of the first women that we knew of to get $100 million with the NBA, just the WNBA and her overseas, not including her endorsements. So she's the first one to get $1 million revenue, take home money through the WNBA put together with that money and the overseas money. But now Candace Parker make more than her. Skylar Diggins make more than a lot of the women in the WNBA. Asia Wilson, she probably don't. I looked up her, she make less than Brittany Griner. Brittany Griner make more than her from overseas in the WNBA. And I do my research. So if you're gonna come at people, come with some research. That's like the census report, the Brew report. If you're gonna have claims, you can go to your local city and town halls to get this information about population in your city. How many it is, how many of that, who gets what, who gets this. It's in the thing. You can go on the computer and you can look it up too. You can look at the Forbes 500, the top CEO of Macintosh, how much money he make a year. What is his commission? You can go Google that. Compared to Donald Trump commission his hotel revenue. So you can look this up. So I looked it up. But I had to add in, man, Donald Trump at 17 used his $1 million his father gave me. I didn't have $1 million. So there was a big difference. So if the NBA actually been around longer, we got more of a sales rate is higher. The price of seating is higher. More people fill up the seats. So if the WNBA seats are $180 for the close seats and nobody's coming because the entertainment value is not there, how can I pay you the Asia Wilsons, the Candace Parker? She didn't say nothing. I'm not using her because I was watching her with Sheldon Williams and I made a mistake and said Skylar Diggins. And I was like, hold on, wrong person. But because there was so much going on that day, and I was trying to answer people back, and the Skylar Diggins Smith of the world, and got married. Congratulations. That's not the same. If you telling me if we both had a hammer and a nail, and I hit that board, that nail and the hammer the same way you did, you telling me we won't get paid the same amount of money? Now, if I start doing more than you telling me we should get paid the same amount of money. I'm doing more work than you. Right now, you in the WNBA. You're not doing no more greater work than me. You're making more money than me. I'm helping taking care of people. And I know those buildings get paid way more money. So long as I follow that, I can get a pay raise just like you can. So as the company grow, shouldn't I get a pay raise like you? And that's the logic. I would make it so practical. That was so easy. The revenue came in because of the NBA got jerseys sales, the time. So if I get to know a woman or a woman get to know a man, over time, your relationship grows. It get greater. It become better because now I know what comes in it. I know why you don't sleep good at night. I know why you had a bad day at work. And we can talk about it now. But it's just throwing out there saying we should get paid because women are just competitive. We didn't say women are not just as competitive. We saying where is this money going to come from? Ask the owners. Don't ask me. But if you want truth, the revenue producers not the WNBA do not produce the same revenue to pay all the women over $2 million a year or a season. The NBA do. That's why it become franchise tags. The franchise tags get you to 195 million like Odell Beckham just did. 41 million guaranteed. The Colin Kaepernick got 170, 80 or 90 million with the 60 million guaranteed. So why Kaepernick, and this is not a diss, why you fighting about equality or so what you want to say fair wages and we're not being treated fair. Kaepernick took a knee, but he get to go back home with a 60 million in his pocket. And that's not a diss. Think about that. Just really solely think about that. But this one lady named Coffee Cavoy on Tumblr tried to say I used that against him. I was being a better male, her and her male friend that probably used women and battered women and womanized women his whole life. And that's another difference was doing to women his whole life was talking about I'm being a better or meta. But he not gonna, but we not gonna ever talk about I do get treated different women. A woman not gonna say I do treat him different because I was more attracted to him. I'm more attracted by his what we call swag, which is the character, personality, and the way he is, the way he walked, the way he looked. I am attracted more to him. That's why I want to date him more. It's nothing to do with him being a thug or a geek. They are more attracted, and I can't bash a black woman that want to only be with white men. I don't care what other black men. You can say that sounds stupid. She's attracted to that. I'm not going to bash you for that. Just don't bash me. Just because whatever your dislike, what is your hate is for black men, don't diss me because you want to date out. I have nothing to do with that. What your father or what some man did to you. That was your past. I did not have nothing. I'm in your present. I'm not a gift to you. But if I'm going to be a gift to you, look at me for me. Just like I'll look at you for you. So look at the WNBA for what it is. Compared to what the NBA established, you was trying to establish that. So don't beat it down. So that will hurt you in the future, because you'll be presented to them and they'll be like, "Man, she fought the argument of competitive wages. I don't know if I want to have her on my team because that's like what Kaepernick did. Well, you fight an argument and you had no backup. Right now, Kaepernick is funding a thing how to teach kids how to present themselves in cops. Should be teaching children how to love each other, so that when that white kid grow up with that same black kid he's sitting by, he don't want to shoot him based on what happened with another black person or what the media, the capital M, capital E, capital D, capital I, capital A has showed them, and it only expressed that black men is bad. Black quote unquote black men are bad, just like the woman, but that's not what we're going to show. I don't get a lot of views because I'm not talking about nonsense. I'm talking about real, true, actual facts. When you do that, until you do something like I gotta blow up, then now everybody want to look at me. Everybody love me. Like everybody hates Chris. I watched that show, but even let's go back to Kaepernick. It's been 2 years now. About to go into they won the court now for to take it to the court to hire the justice court. So we can see what's going on. But the beef is not, it wasn't with the people and people made it about the people. It's with the owners. Women can play football, but we know women going to have a disadvantage to football than a man but we can't on a national televised event. How come we can't pay enough money? Which Wakanda the movie was the highest grossing movie ever. I'm gonna keep saying this. And we took all our $5 to $20 to the movie theaters, but you tell them we can't blow the black community, a quote unquote black African descent nation in America, or all in the whole world to come together to build and to grow and to form, create, not within hate. They're trying to compare Black Lives Matter to the KKK movement. That is sad. And white people, please, quote unquote, white, Caucasian, caucus people, why do y'all do that? Just like why women say what they say, I have a feeling, and then people that have a belief, they cannot speak unless somebody just take on what they take. But then when you try to reach them at them, they trying to say, well, you can't say that, you can't do that. Why can't I say or do that? They have no true answer. Because while I say unto one, I say unto all, it's your choice, it's your path, your journey. Choose wisely. Be the best you can be. That's all you can be. And that's all I'm doing in this world. Accept who you are. Love yourself. Don't be a lover of yourself. And who you are may not be who you are next year or the next day. But always keep improving and bettering yourself. Love yourself with positive and good affirmations, reinforcements, and empowerments. Always don't use a standard. Have good and positive morals and values and ethics. Stand on what's right. Even if you're wrong, stand there and be strong on it until your mind and let yourself tell you, like, okay, I need to do something different and be better than what I used to. Shalom.